All right, all right, all right. It would look like we are a go here today in the lodge, and I see we already have a number of sickos and normies hanging out. If you guys just let me know how the volume is. I think the volume should be pretty good, but please let me know if anything needs to be changed. But before we continue, before we move into today's episode, which I'm very excited to talk about, there's a lot on my mind when it comes to this stuff. But we couldn't do it without the beloved Sage of the Lodges, who are right there beside us. The list has gotten so long and supportive, I can't even read it out anymore. It just sounds like gibberish. But anyway, thank you to all of you. You make this more than worth it, and your support means more to me than you could ever know. If you want to be a Sage of the Lodge, look, there's links in the episode description. Be a YouTube channel member. It don't matter. But listen, I'm just happy you guys are here and hanging out. That's the most important thing to me. That's the most important thing to me. It's having people here to hang out with, talk about all this crazy stuff with. Because as you know, when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, there is absolutely no shortage of things to talk about. So, without further ado, let's get the chat set up. There we go. I see we have a number of people in here already. Let's give some shout outs to Blake, Maria, OJ, and Charlotte. Awesome little squad who's hanging out here. Star Latte Studios, to be specific, and Lamb over on YouTube. Welcome. We are talking Kingdom Hearts today. I've had a lot of people ask me to talk about Yozora a little more, which is always an exciting prospect, because I think Yozora is one of the coolest characters that we have in the story now, both design-wise, his voice direction is awesome, the fact his character's from this whole other plane of existence. There's a lot going on with the character that makes it very easy to get excited. So when a few people pulled me aside and said, hey, really would like if you talked about Yozora more, I decided to get to it. Started thinking about it. SMH, drop it in the chat. How's it going? Thanks for being here. So yeah, we're going to talk about Yozora today. So we all know that the Yozora that we see is not necessarily what Yozora looks like. He's made that very clear to us, and we're going to go over that a lot today. But I feel like it's not swept under the rug, but I feel like we always gloss over the fact that Yozora doesn't seem to be in his body. The body that we keep referring to as Yozora doesn't actually seem to be his. And we can't be glossing over that. So today we're going to explore some possibilities. I see we got Dylan and Mookie, Sage of the Lodge, hanging in the chat. I'm excited. Please feel free to share your thoughts. Once we reach around the 1 hour mark, I always open the chat wide open. But when we're flying solo today, I'll pull things out of the chat as we go. But look, first things first, I've got a list of suspects. Maybe you guys could share your suspects if I don't happen to bring them up. But let's start with some of the more on the nose and obvious ones. So first things first, I think it's very possible that it could just be the Versus 13 Noctis. You know what I'm saying? It's very possible his actual body might be the Versus 13 Noctis. We've seen Kingdom Hearts get more and more fourth wall-ish as the series continues on. They love to poke at the fourth wall. They love to break the fourth wall. And those of us who are relatively caught up in all this Versus 13 stuff, we know that what's going on with Yozora in the world of fiction, there's some level of fourth wall breaking there. We don't play a fictional video game and go to the world of fiction if there's not some level of fourth wall breaking. We don't have a Wreck-It Ralph world where we're going to travel between different arcade video games, without it breaking the fourth wall. So I just wanted to point out that I think it's very possible that Nomura might just go full-blown revenge and just bring back Versus 13 Noctis. I don't think it's the most likely scenario, but I think with all of the Versus 13 references, with all of the fourth wall breaking going on, and again, with Yozora saying, this isn't what I really look like, and with the Nameless Star telling us, hey, he's been changed beyond recognition, his heart replaced with another. So immediately that gets my head spinning with this kind of stuff. So I think it's very possible that if we do go full-blown Nomura revenge and break these fourth walls completely down, it's very possible that Yozora's actual body might resemble the Versus 13 Noctis that we saw in all those trailers and gameplay leading up. I took a few notes here because I always forget stuff. So I'm starting to make some bullet points so I don't forget things during this. There was some of the things that get in the way of this is, as you know, and we could see from Nomura's interviews, he's not allowed to really outright say this is Versus 13. I haven't even seen him outright say that it's a tribute or a nod to Versus 13. It seems like that whole project has to be kept on the hush and hush. So I see how some people think that might get in the way. However, we have seen Dissidia, which is a Final Fantasy fighting game. You can use Versus 13 Noctis as a skin. You know what I mean? So Square, to an extent, is willing to acknowledge Versus 13's existence. I guess it just has to be contained within another game, in much the way the Versus 13 Noctis skin is contained within Dissidia. Blake here says, I want it to be Noctis, but wasn't said that it wasn't Noct. Yeah, see, this is the... When I give off my candidates today, I'm going to give you reasons why I think it could be them and reasons why I think it couldn't. And Blake, you bring up a good point. Nomura has in interviews outright said, this is not Noctis. He's outright said this is not a Versus 13 reference. Or something along those lines. I don't want to misquote him. But let's just be honest. We all know everything with Yozora going on is a Versus 13 reference. Magical Valkyrie, Miss Valkyrie, I hope your birthday weekend was awesome. Says, you think Nameless Star is Stella from Versus 13? 100%. 100%. All right, maybe not 100, but 99%. I'm 99% sure that the Nameless Star is a tribute or a recreation of Stella from Versus 13. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Stella directly translates to star, so meeting her as a Nameless Star would be fitting. But let's fact check myself here. Stella, Latin translation. It does mean star. Okay, so I just wanted to double check that. But the sheer fact that her name means star, and we met this Nameless Star in the final world, to me, that's just, I feel like straight up alluding to Stella from Versus 13. But again, I don't think this is our most likely scenario. I think very far from it. I don't necessarily think being straight up Versus 13 Noctis is going to be what Yozora's real body is, but I think we'd be a little silly not to speculate it. We've seen Kingdom Hearts go crazy. We've seen Kingdom Hearts shatter that fourth wall. Who knows how far they're going to take it? But when it comes to all of our candidates, I suppose you'd say today, I think Versus 13 Noctis is possible, just not really plausible. Which is going to move us on to this next candidate, which is really the same candidate, and that's the Final Fantasy 15 Noctis. Now, I feel the same way about this as I did the other. I don't think it's very likely. If anything, I actually think this is the least likely scenario. Now, I know some people may be asking what's the difference between 15 Noctis and 13. The haircut is a little different, and the clothes he wears is different. And I guess if you were taking it from Nomura's perspective, the character himself would technically be different too. They would be similar in look and name only, but this was not the Noctis that Nomura had initially envisioned. However, what this possibility does have going for it is that straight up Final Fantasy characters have appeared in the series before, right? Like Cloud's there, Zack's there, Aerith's there, Yuffie's there, Squall is there. So straight up Final Fantasy characters have been dragged and dropped into the series before, but none of them have really had an important role in the plot. Don't get me wrong, they all have their place in the plot. The Radiant Garden Gang has their place in the plot. I'm definitely not saying Final Fantasy characters haven't played a role. Auron is another good example, but they haven't been as crucial as, say, some Disney characters are, like, say, King Mickey or Donald and Goofy. But I think it's very possible that you could just straight up see FF15 Noctis. I think it's the least likely. I'd bet a lot of money that it's not going to happen, but I felt like it was silly not to go over. If Versus 13 Noctis is a possibility, in theory, the 15 Noctis would be possible as well. Little hydration break, and then I'll move on to our next candidate. And we are moving through these pretty quickly, so I don't think this episode's going to be as long as some of the other episodes, but we'll keep going for it, and if you guys got thoughts to share, we'll go over it too. But, let's see, hold on. before we move on, let's get to the chat a little bit here. Metropolis Days, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Valkyrie or Riku Nendoroid is the best. Riku is S tier. I'd love to see FF15 characters in Kingdom Hearts. And you know something? I hate to break it to you, but I actually think of all the Final Fantasy games that Nomura had some role in, I think FF15 is the least likely. I think the straight-up FF15 characters almost have a sour taste in Nomura's mouth, which is why I guess he's trying to recreate his own versions here in Kingdom Hearts. Loving the theory crafting. Yeah, that's why we're mostly doing speculation here today. You know what I mean? Like, I was reluctant to call this a theory just because I don't think there's enough to really construct a strong argument for any of the possibilities we lay out here today. But I do think a lot of these possibilities are plausible. So we're here to kind of, craft those in real time and see what we can come up with. But I actually think FF15 is by far the least likely, not just for Yozora's body, but for Final Fantasy appearances as well. I don't think Nomura dislikes 15 or Tabata. I don't think he dislikes them, but I think it does have a sour taste in his mouth because this was originally his project, and what eventually was put out was not a reflection of his vision. Makes sense, and good to have fun with it. Exactly. Okay. So this next possibility is a little bit crazy. It's a little bit crazy. I want to give a shout out to my man Umbra. He actually laid a huge theory on me months ago that inspired me kind of thinking about this a little bit. But I got a heavy one coming, so brace yourselves. CK Gaming Channel, how is it going? Says, I agree with another YouTuber posted a video that Yozora is actually female, resembling Luna Freya. That would be a mind-blowing thing. That'd be a mind-blowing reveal. All I want is for it to make sense. 100% leaves a sour taste in his mouth. It would for anyone who dedicates that much time. So true. So true. To dedicate that much time to a vision and then to have that vision, I don't want to say trampled on, but taken away from you, it's going to have a sour taste in my mouth. By the way, it looks like a thunderstorm is here, so if the stream goes out, you know why. Hey, Steph, my man, how are you? My dude Steph in the chat, everybody. We did a great podcast about Terra way back in the day. Steph, how you doing, brother? But yeah, let's talk about this theory. So this one's a little crazy. So you see this version of Sora that we see here in Quadratum. He looks different than our normal Sora, and he does just look like a quadratumification of the Sora we know and love. But lately I've started thinking, what if Sora and Yozora are actually just the same person? Hear me out. I know it sounds bonkers, but you just got to hear me out. What if Sora and Yozora are really just the same person in two different realities? You know what I mean? Like Yozora is just the reflection of Sora in the fictional world, right? In unreality. He's that unreality reflection of Sora. That's what Yozora is. And I'm starting to wonder if the two of them might be one and the same. So let's play with some things we hear throughout the series, right? There are many worlds, but they share the same sky. You know, we have Sora, which is your day sky. Yozora, which translates to night sky. Many worlds, and they all share the same sky. Whether it's reality or fiction, no matter what world, they share the same sky. Be it a Sora or a Yozora, a sky or a night sky. When you look in the sky of Quadratum, it's very overcast, right? It's neither like a bright day or a dark night, which almost makes me wonder if this game is going to be some kind of identity struggle or existence struggle between Yozora and Sora and who has the right to exist. Now, here's what got me thinking it, guys. Here's what got me thinking it. Let's flip these up a little bit. One second. Oh boy. That's on loop, but it ain't working. There we go. Okay. So, here's the thing. When we talk to Rex in Toy Box, and we see the Verum Rex cover art, right? We see the Verum Rex cover art. And they say Sora looks like him, right? Now, there's one thing I want us to keep in
least
mind, right? Using the
I'm all
series
here.
dialogue against itself here. Not against itself, but with these theories. What did the Master tell us? The truth is what you see with your eyes, not what you hear. And what were the Toy Box characters telling us? Hey! That guy,
Is anyone
the
out
guy
there?
from Baron Rex, you look like him. You look like Yozora. That's what we were being told. But what we saw was that doesn't look like Sora. That looks like Riku, right? Or that looks like the Yozora that we see now.
Huh?
What if, because the game is a little loud. Oh boy. I didn't realize I had it on. Jeez. Oops. That wasn't supposed to be on. Maybe I'll backtrack it a little bit here. Let me backtrack it. Thank you for letting me know that, Valkyrie. That game audio was not supposed to be on. I hope it wasn't on this whole time. That would be terrible. But anyway. So when it comes to Sora and Yozora and this possible struggle and battle of who has the right to exist, when Rex and the Toy Box tell us, and the rest of the Toy Box cast tell us, hey, you look like Yozora, that's what we're being told, right? But what we see, oh boy. Well, look, we persevere, we carry on, we fight on. Thanks for sticking it out. Anyway, what we're told is that Sora looks like him. But our eyes are clearly telling us something different. Our eyes are telling us he looks like Riku. So, what if, because Rex and the Toy Box characters are from that world, they're able to... Shout out to Rajman Gaming, by the way, who provided this clip. What if we're being told that Yozora actually looks like Sora? Right? It's not an accident. They deliberately put that in front of you when Rex says, hey, you look like Yozora. We know he doesn't look like Yozora. We know Riku looks like Yozora. But what if they're seeing it differently? What if what they see is different from what we see? And what they're seeing on the Baron Rex cover is the Sora that we see in Quadratum from the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer. Right? What if that's Yozora's normal form? What if his normal form is that Sora form that we see at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 4? You know? I don't know. It's the kind of stuff that gets me thinking, right? Because this version of Yozora, it clearly looks like Riku, right? So now hear me out. In the secret movie, right? We saw both Sora and Riku in Quadratum. But the Sora we saw in Quadratum and the Sora we see here in this Quadratum, they don't look like the Sora from the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer. I'll say it again. The Sora from the secret movie and the Sora here in the secret episode, even though they're in Quadratum, they don't look like the Quadratum version of Sora from Kingdom Hearts 4. So what does that tell you? That the Riku we see in the secret movie also isn't a version. Wait, hold on. The Riku we see in the secret movie also, that's not the Quadratum version of him. What if what we see of Yozora, what if that's Riku's Quadratum body? Do you guys follow me? What if that's Riku's Quadratum body and that Yozora actually took Riku's body for whatever purpose, for whatever means, and Riku's the one who told him to save Sora? That was Riku's instruction. Because it's so deliberate. It is so deliberate that Yozora looks like Riku, but the Toy Box characters tell us he looks like Sora. So what if the Sora from the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, what if that's Yozora's regular body, but the reason why he's in this body that looks like Riku is because Sora is now in Quadratum. And now there's this overlap, right? When Sora used the power of waking, he created a nature taboo. Now, what if that taboo is messing with unreality too? And because Sora is here, Yozora has to hop into another body or something. I don't know. But when I think about this, I don't know. Let's see. Let's catch up with the chat here. I'm sure you guys you've thrown a lot my way here. Let's see. Okay. I made a theory of Yozora being Sora from the future. This is Maria on YouTube. I made a theory of Yozora being Sora from the future. So I believe that Yozora is Sora. Feel free to flesh that out in the chat, Maria. If you type that out, I'll happily read that. Doing great, glad I got time to watch this. My man, anytime you make for me, I feel blessed. Mookie, my man, says Yozora equals alternate Sora. Maybe. Sora means sky, Yozora means night sky. There are many worlds, but they share the same sky. One sky, one destiny. And now we're playing with fate, right? We changed fate, and now we met the nighttime sky. I don't know. Some shit's going down. So Yozora is a dark reflection of Sora. Yes, Valkyrie, something like that. Something like that. Here's Sora on reality. Maybe Yozora is just that unreality reflection of him. Sar Ayu says alternate Sora with Brain's heart. Hence why he never saved nameless Star. His reality. Okay, yeah, I'm glad you brought up Brain. We're going to get into that later. Sora is a culmination of all characters' powers in one being. So you have to think about it like that. Look, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's correct. But that would be a cool idea. Idea, CK. If Sora is like all the hearts manifest into one. That would be cool. Let's see what else we got. CK follows up with, the Keyblades are symbolic of the powers their wielders observe in imagery and symbolically. Interesting. That's very interesting. I'd have to think on that and think how true that is. But I could see that being compatible. That's a very good point on the Riku thing, because Riku was actually supposed to be the original person who the Kingdom Key was bequeathed to. True king! Exactly, Sar. Exactly. Verum Rex means true king. And Yozora looks like Riku? Come on, man. I don't know. There's some shit there. I know that's not a new thought. I know that's not a new realization. But when you plug it into everything that's going on, and the fact that the toy box characters told us you look like him, I don't know. Moving on. But how does that explain Sora in Quadratum? I'm going to bring up the flaws with this idea. There are some flaws with this idea that I want to bring up, but I want to see if anyone else has anything to say in the chat. Honestly, I don't think the Sora we know is actually Sora, but it is a replica from Castle Oblivion. Ooh, okay, so you think the real Sora never made it out. So there's two versions of Sora and Riku? It's possible. That's the thing. That's where there might be some holes in there. Because it's like, is that the Riku? Maybe. I don't know. That's where I get tangled, Valkyrie. That's definitely where I get tangled. My brain is malfunctioning, says the child. Yeah, I feel you. I made a Google document. I could pass the link. When we get to, after I got one more suspicious character after this, after that, feel free to shoot it over to me and we'll give it a look. Or a Sora that fell into darkness, but not a nobody. I don't know. I think the original Kingdom Hearts original world was invaded by aliens from outer space, which kind of resembles the story from Toy Story World. That's a good point, especially with the final boss being a UFO. Billy the Kid! Hey, yo! My man. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my boy Billy the Kid, who drops in here with a $5 super chat, says, I am become sage. It was time. You've become a sage? Is that true? My man, dude, thank you, Billy. I always appreciate anytime you hang out. Dude, Billy is a new sage of the lodge. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our man Billy the Kid, who in real time just became the newest sage of the lodge. My dude, Billy, thank you so much. You've honestly been such a great supporter. So cool. Always coming, always hanging out, calling out my shit when I leave the Discord fucking notification sound on. Thank you, dude. I do appreciate it. Everybody give it up for Billy. Give it up for Billy. Dropping in here, just throwing up $5 on the table. I'm a sage. What's good? Yes, Valkyrie says, congratulations. Good sir, thank you for becoming the sage. The entire lodge appreciates it very much. The lady of the lodge herself could not have said it better. Billy, the man, thank you so much. Okay, Cosmic Heyman, another sage of the lodge, says, I wonder how much Yozora will get in KH4 and what his new role will be. Listen, I'm going to make a video about this in a few weeks, but the truth is, guys, Kingdom Hearts is a Sora-centric story, especially the numbered titles. This is Sora's story, and Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be primarily about Sora. We'll get a little bit of Riku, we'll get a little bit of Kairi, we'll get a little bit of the guys on the outer ends. But at the end of the day, Kingdom Hearts 4, I very much believe, is going to bring us back to our roots. and let Sora take center stage full throttle. Oh, hey, Michael Mills is now a junior sage. Give it up for Michael Mills, ladies and gentlemen. A new junior sage. Dropping in here, another sage of the lodge. Just a Waffle, cousin of Pancake, please bring Just a Pancake back, says, you know it's funny, in Kingdom Hearts 1, when going into the secret cave, that the kids carved the rock walls when we see a picture of someone like Riku with a crown as a king. Is that right? If anybody can hunt that image down, I'd love to pull that up on stream. I don't think Sora is a replica. I think that Sora is Sora. Yeah, I agree with you, Valkyrie. I do think this is the organic Sora, but you never know. You never know. Kingdom Hearts has its twists. All right. I am not worthy of such praise, but your energy is ridiculously admirable. I don't know where I get it from, man. I don't know where I get it from. But you know what? You guys fuel me. Seriously. All of you in the chat, those of you who comment on my YouTube videos and hit like and watch, like, you're the ones who, you make all this worth it. You give me this fuel. I don't know how many DBZ fans we have in the house, but every time you hit like on a video, every time you watch a video, you comment, you do anything, you're giving me fuel for the spirit bomb. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're doing here. You're giving me fuel for the spirit bomb. I appreciate it. I really do. CK says, I'm just throwing things out there. Probably not true. Just stuff for y'all to think about. That's what we're here to do, man. We're here to discuss shit and figure this out. Kingdom Hearts is a giant puzzle, and no one's putting it together by themselves. So I got this crazy thought. Well, tell us, Junior Sage. Tell us, Michael Mills. Have we ever seen a Xehanort at his prime? You know, young Xehanort kind of is the closest we've seen to that. Honestly, Terra Xehanort is probably the closest to a prime Xehanort. Terra Xehanort bodied everybody in the Keyblade Graveyard like a psycho. Okay, Michael Mills, another good sir. Thank you very much. Oh, God. All right. We give you the Spirit Bomb energy. D-Tench gets it. D-Tench gets it. Valkyrie says, I love DBZ. It's easy to love. It's easy to love. Hey, yeah, Michael Mills, if you got any theories, feel free to share them. Okay. People of the Lodge, give me your energy. Okay, I just got my tickets for Dragon Ball Super Superhero, so yes, I love DBZ. DBZ is great, man. I will say, I shared one Dragon Ball Z clip in a video, and the video got demonetized. And it was a video where I stood up for Kyrie, so it was an important video to me. But I referenced DBZ for 10 seconds, and they demonetized the video. Jesus. Jesus! All right. All right, all right. Geo Review says he looks different because he's in Yozora's heart. Because Yozora's body, the body gets stolen, and Yozora's heart, oh boy, resides in Verum Rex Riku's body. We're literally playing Verum Rex through Sora's eyes. That would be cool, Geo. That's kind of cool. If Yozora just kind of got sent into like Yozora's campaign. But anyway, I see the chat's blowing up with some theories and some cool ideas, and I want to get to them, but I definitely want to flesh out this title topic. So let me round up this theory that I've got about Sora here. Just to round it all out, here's what I think. We're tipped off because the Toy Box characters tell us that Sora looks like Yozora. But we clearly see that Yozora looks like Riku. Yozora tells us this isn't what I really look like. So maybe he really looks like Sora. And that's why the Toy Box characters were able to see him for who he is. Right? And then you could string other things like I talk about. Maybe Yozora stole Riku's body, and this is what a Riku quadratum would like, just like this is what a Sora quadratum looks like on screen. Maybe Yozora is what a Riku quadratum looks like. Yozora stole his body, and maybe Riku's the one who told him to save Sora. But with all of that out of the way, I digress. Here's the final character that I'm a little suspicious of. And then we'll get into everybody's wild theories and shit. What if it's Brain? What if it's Brain? Now, I've played with the idea that Brain is headed for Quadratum. I really think it's not only possible, I think it's very plausible and even likely. I think it's even likely that Brain is headed for Quadratum. Now, I know some people might get confused, like, what's Brain got to do with this? But let's keep something in mind. Brain struck a deal with Lushu. He's clued in on what all this body hopping business is about. Brain is clued in on the whole body hopping thing and stealing bodies. Oh, tell me more. What if? What if? I don't even know. This is like it's some brain breaking stuff, no pun intended. But when we hear Yozora say things like, "How did you recognize me as Yozora?" Like maybe that's not even who he really is. But getting back to Brain, sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained right now. But getting back to Brain here, if we are to believe that he really made it to Quadratum, and if he was to last all this time, perhaps he's needed to hop bodies. You know what I mean? I don't know. But when we hear Brain say he wants to be the virus in the master system, and then we see everything going on with Yozora in the world of fiction, what if? What if this is Brain kind of working his way into the game a little bit? I don't know. Listen, I don't think it's that likely. I have to be honest. I think my previous candidate, that Sora and Yozora might be one and the same and sharing the same body, one sky, one destiny, many worlds, they share the same sky. I could go on all day about that part of the theory. I'm not sure how likely this is, but we cannot underestimate Brain. Brain is playing 4D chess. We went over this in my recent theory. He is playing 4D chess. He is incredibly clued in, and he knows about the whole stealing bodies thing. And he's linked up with Lushu. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how likely it is. I think it's probably... I have 4 candidates here, right? I've got Sora's body. I've got Versus 13 Noctis, FF15 Noctis, and Brain. I think the Sora body is the most likely. I think a Versus 13 Noctis is number 2. I'm going to put Brain at number 3. Just because we can't underestimate him. I really think he's going to make it to Quadratum. And I think he's playing some serious 4D chess. I really do. I really, really, really do. But all in all, I think there's some bias here. I love Brain. He was my favorite character from Union Cross. And I'm thinking maybe there's just some part of me that's begging for him to have a big role. That would love for him to have like a big role. You know what I mean? So look, I don't know how likely it is. I have seen some theories thrown around that Yozora is Brain. That Brain and Yozora are one and the same. But I'm not too sure about that. But anyway, those are basically my main candidates of who I think. Feel free to share your thoughts, guys. Let's break this stuff down, man. Let's see. Let's catch up with the chat here. I saw that we were popping off a little bit. Let's see. Odin is Lushu. I'm calling it, says Michael Mills. Listen, Lushu is lurking around Dark Road, which, by the way, if we get a freaking Dark Road release date, we'll do a Dark Road watch party here at the Lodge. I'm just waiting for the release date. By the way, shout out to one of our newest followers, Ultiman and Beast, who jumped in the chat, says, Justice for Landy and Totally Not Mark. Oh, man, what happened to Totally Not Mark was awful, man. Absolutely awful. But he makes some great content. If you guys like anime, check out Totally Not Mark for sure. But, dude, Lushu is lurking around Dark Road. I'm telling you. We'd be foolish to not think he might be Odin or somebody else. Billy the Kid, Sage of the Lodge, says, just thinking about Kingdom Hearts 4. Kingdom Hearts came out when I was 9. The 4th game, I'll be in my 30s. Wow. Dude, I feel you. I just turned 30. You and I are close in age. I just turned 30 last month. I mean, you guys all know it. You guys were here for my fucking shit. Never mind. But, like, it really is surreal to me, you know? Like, the game came out when I was 10. Now I'm 30. And it's still with me. And I think that's a beautiful thing. It's still exciting, and it still excites me. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Gio says, remember, Nomura said he was struggling to make either Verum Rex or Kingdom Hearts 4. Then Rex sees Sora as Toy Yozora, which Toy Yozora looks more like Quadratum Sora. Yozora's real body than KH3 Sora. That's the other thing. If you go with the whole breaking the fourth wall angle, and then everything with Yozora and Versus 13, and this is a giant fourth wall break, you could really see the whole Sora and Yozora thing as a metaphor for Nomura's inner struggle about what gets to exist, Kingdom Hearts 3 or Versus 13. Because remember, Kingdom Hearts 3 and Versus 13, they were stuck in development limbo for the longest time. Versus 13 never got to exist. Kingdom Hearts 3 did. And that's where I think this idea of reality and unreality comes from. It's because Sora and Kingdom Hearts 3 got to exist. So that gets to be reality. Versus 13 and Yozora Noctis didn't get to exist. So that gets to be unreality. So I almost feel like what's going on really might be Nomura's internal struggle about the fact that only one of those projects got to survive. Only one of those characters got to exist. And we've gone over this in my theory video that Nomura is the master of masters. Nomura refers to Sora and Yozora as his kids. They're his sons. He refers to them that way. So it makes the fourth wall stuff all the more plausible. But thank you for that, Gio. That's great. Also, the audience views Rex as crazy because we know that because the Yozora we know looks like Riku. Exactly. The Child says Brain is my favorite Dandelion. My too. Magical Valkyrie said they said August. Yes, Valkyrie, but they also told us winter. They also told us winter. We're halfway through the summer. I believe. I want to manifest August, but I would not be surprised if we have another delay. Gio again says, so boom, the Verum story is that reality Sora is what we see in the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, and that's why the logo is different. Ooh. Maybe that's why the score and the music direction is a little different too. That's very interesting. Huh. Just a Waffle says, so if Brain is Yozora, then Brain snatched Yozora's body, but Brain is a blue blood when he made Master Ericus that he's related to Brain. If the bloodline discontinued, rest in peace, Ericus, who was inspired by Sakaguchi. I see. That's interesting. But no, I think they'll keep those Sakaguchi looks going. In that Dark Road, actually, wouldn't that be cool if an older Brain looked like Sakaguchi because he's Ericus's ancestor? Michael Mills, Sage of the Lodge, says in that Dark Road cutscene, Odin was in the Dark Corridor with no Keyblade armor. Yo, that's right. How was he able to do that? He'd have to be a real master. Perhaps an ancient master. All right. So in Cage 4, we'll lose our body per script. Yes, and this is something me and my homie Jashish talk about a lot. There's like posters in Quadratum that say like, hold on to your body or like, hold on to your soul, like stuff like that, Billy the Kid says, good old small box TV days, not giving a damn about the quality of the image. So true, man. Dude, I think that's the reason why I don't complain a lot. I can get bitter and cynical sometimes, but I really don't complain a whole lot because, like, when it comes to all this stuff, especially with gaming, I'm used to playing on, like, tiny tube TVs with wonky controls and, like, having to rub the disc or blow on the cartridge and, like, it was just, like, a labor and, like, there was no voice acting and, like, I don't know. I just feel blessed to be where we're at today. Michael Mills says, and the Master's plan is to destroy all darkness. The primary darknesses, who is to say the person that spawned those darknesses won't return. Remember, the Master said darkness originated from a person. Yes, I think I think a lot of what we saw Xehanort do was following a playbook of darkness itself. I don't think that was an accident. I think much the way Xehanort separated himself into 13, but he did it differently. He possessed 13 bodies. I think darkness itself, like you said, Michael, actually severed itself into 13 different bodies. All right, guys. I'm out of water, and I'm talking and talking and talking. So just give me like a minute or two. I'm just going to refill my water, and we'll get right back to it. Ooh, wrong one. There we go. Okay, Okay, your boy is back. Your boy's back. Any excuse to show my homie Kobe on the screen, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. No, no, no. I didn't actually refill my water. I just wanted to show you guys my dog. Anyway, let's move on. Lamb, who's been hanging out this whole time. Credit to you, Lamb. Thanks for hanging out. Says, I'm still new to this series since late 2021. Lamb, welcome to Kingdom Hearts. Everyone in the chat, please, can we give Lamb a warm welcome to the Kingdom Hearts community? Like, please. Late 2021. Dude, that's so cool. I'm actually like really interested in people who have only like just begun the journey. Anyway, and honestly, this is currently a series that I'm genuinely invested in, and I'm so glad to be a part of it. Well, I'm happy to be along the ride with you, Lamb. I'm happy to be here with you along for the ride. I've been with this series my whole life, and it's just been a joy, and it's been inspiring, and it's made me laugh. It's made me cry. As you can see, it gets me going. You know, the whole thing. Let's keep moving on. Welcome to Kingdom Hearts, Lamb. I think you're going to have an amazing time. Are we still getting Dark Road / Missing Link betas next month? I don't think we get the Missing Link beta till the fall, but Dark Road, I'm going to give it a 50-50 shot. I'm excited. Like, I'm super excited. Watch parties, baby. We're doing watch parties. But, you know, we gotta wait for it. We gotta wait for it. A master of masters, if you will. We've seen characters in the corridors without armor. Young Riku, Mickey, for example. So I don't think that would mean much. Interesting. That's true. I forgot that Mickey rescued Aqua in the corridor like that. Yeah, but again, Riku, and that was a Mickey who wasn't a master and wasn't very experienced. So yeah, it's not that big a deal. Interesting. SMH. There we go. That's why, guys, let me just tell you something. Never hold back on telling me I'm wrong. Never hold back on telling me I'm full of shit. That's what you're here for. You guys are like the antibodies for my bullshit. Anyway, Just a Waffle says, really wish Sora and Yozora as the brother, like Dante and Virgil, that would be cool. Meaning Tetsuya and Nomura for the family reunion, which it's going to be an epic battle for the family meeting. Again, guys, if you haven't seen it, I made a whole theory about how Nomura is the master of masters, and him bringing Sora and Yozora to Quadratum is just a way to have a family reunion. I don't think it'll be literally that, but I think metaphorically that's what's going on. It's fun to think about. Billy the Kid says, yes, blowing on the Super Nintendo cartridges. You've taken me back, fam. I played the new Turtles game recently, and my God, it was so much fun. Dude, it reminds me of Turtles in Time. And everyone's told me it's so good. I might really have to play it one day. I really have to play it. Mookie says, the master will be revealed as a slice of bacon with hands and legs. Peak fiction, ladies and gentlemen. Maria says, you're wrong, Mookie. He's going to be revealed as the almighty owl. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. I live for these live streams. I enjoy these a lot. Especially, I don't know what I like more. I love having guests on because I do genuinely love talking to people. Like, I really love talking to people, especially about all this stuff. But riding solo and talking to you guys, that's a whole other animal. Michael Mill says, this is fun because this is a huge mystery and the pieces keep falling into place. That's the most fun thing about Kingdom Hearts. Like, Kingdom Hearts 1 is a 20-year-old game. But playing it in 2022, it has more meaning than it did in 2002. And that's a beautiful thing. Like the Ark, for example. In 2002, the Ark was just this random thing. It was just over there. Now it's a key part of the lore. And I live for that. It makes those games timeless in a way. It makes me think after Kingdom Hearts 4, we're going to go back to Kingdom Hearts 1 and things will be new and fresh. Anyway, Ultimate and Beast says, I still want to think that the other darknesses could generate new darkness mobs, like how Unversed comes specifically from Vanitas, which itself makes me think Heartless come from one specific darkness that lost all individuality. I love that. Let me tell you why I love that Ultimate and Beast. Because, and I could be wrong, but I really think a theme of what's going on in Kingdom Hearts is that, like, the villains or the darkness, they're almost always this, like, ideological collective, right? Look at Organization 13, starting with, like, Xemnas' Organization 13. They all believed that they were nothing, and they had no hearts, and that they were nobodies, and they all lived in these white walls, and there was just nothingness. But meanwhile, the whole time, They did have hearts. They could grow hearts, but they believed the lie. They were part of this like mindless collective, you know? And when you think about like the formless darknesses, they sort of work in that same way. They're sort of this like collective that falls apart. When you think about Union Cross, you know, that was like literally it just descended into tribalism. It descended into like tribal collectivism among unions, and they fell apart. Whereas I think the light is when an individual like becomes whole, or an individual becomes self-realized. And the guardians of light are a collective, because again, collectives aren't bad, you know, not per se. There are bad collectives, but collectives aren't bad. But the light side is almost like these self-realized individuals who come together to create a collective, right? It's like it's these hyper individualities that come together that create like this unified front. I've always kind of liked that on the darkness front there's almost a like blind idealism to it, whereas with the light, for the most part, if you're not Ericus and you're not the foretellers, with the light it's a little bit different. But Twilight Blaze, another Sage of the Lodge, dropping in. Michael Mill says, if I was a betting man, Lucius Keyblade is going to be inactive because of the 2 brains. Ooh. Yeah, you know, I'm kind of a believer in the 2 brain theory. I just don't know how to make sense of it. Welcome to hell, I mean heaven. The Master is going to be a play on Lucifer. I've been saying that shit for years. The Pride Sin, ex-super, and in Rebind he tells Xehanort, believe what you see, not what you hear, and tells him a lost master, but what you see is light. Sorry, you don't gotta tell me this. I made a theory video on that 2.5 years ago. I remember playing Remind, and when that scene happened, I jumped and I was like you guys know the Leo DiCaprio meme when he's like, kind of had that moment. But I love seeing that theory come back to me, I have to say. I don't really care about the ownership of ideas, but I love when people come to me to tell me about a theory that I made like 2 years ago. I don't know. I just love that shit. Welcome to one of the best communities in the world. Oh, come on, get out of here, Mookie. I run on Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 4 is Sora's soul in Verum Rex. Kingdom Hearts 4 logo with Verum Red front and music. We're playing as Sora living the script of Verum Rex. Interesting. As Yozora before his body was stolen and was forced in Verum Riku. That would be so mind-blowing, dude. That would be so mind-blowing. Okay. Let's keep moving here. Riku and Mickey had the clothes. Odin had a cool Yensid magic barrier around him. Oh, I guess that's right. They did have specific clothes made for them to kind of ward that off. That's interesting. Mickey with Kingdom D, he may have immunity. I need that Kingdom D immunity in my life, bro. King Sonu says, hey, Landy, how's it going? Do you think the Master of Masters wants Yozora and Zora to meet, or do you think it will destroy his plans? No, he wants them to meet. I think he absolutely wants them to meet. I think that's his plan all along. I think that meeting is going to like create some sort of paradox, and that paradox is going to feed into the Master's plans. I think he's an agent of chaos. I really think he is. Odin at that point, who would teach other wielders to don their Keyblade armors, but he was in there with that one, is suspect. Definitely suspect. The child says, when Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out, I will cry. Yeah, me too. Maria says, the Master of Masters is Nomura with a light aura surrounding him, fusionated with an owl. Please, whatever you're smoking, pass it this way. Billy the Kid says, it's Turtles in Time on crack. Very fun to play with friends online. Again, I may have to give the new Ninja Turtles game a shot. It does look good. Okay. And yeah, dude, I bet. The Super Nintendo is always going to be tougher than games that come out today. Jay Cheesecake, how are you? Says, even though the main character of Union Cross is gone, but I feel they are going to be back because Strelitzia is here, or maybe Mickey finds out about Dream Eaters and a way to wake the sleeping hearts up, but maybe not, it's off topic. Let me read through that again. Even though the main character of Union Cross is gone, I feel like they're going to be back because Strelitzia is here. Yeah, oh, okay, now I'm following it. Okay. No, I think Player and Xehanort, in whichever way, comes back into play, 100%. Union Cross is just pain, yes, but it is very entertaining pain. SMH says, now that we have strayed into the topic of Vanitas, can we talk about how Ventus and Vanitas weren't properly fused, but stayed within Sora, but only Ventus had to be pried out? Sorry, not native English. That's fine. That's very clear. Interesting. Only Ventus had to... Yes, SMH, I think the reason only Ventus had to be pried out is because the Vanitas that we see in Kingdom Hearts 3, that's not the Vanitas that was sealed within Sora at the end of Birth by Sleep. That's Xehanort taking one of Vexen's replicas and pulling, what's his name? Pulling Vanitas from the past into the replica. That was at the very least my understanding how all of that worked in Kingdom Hearts 3. Is because of Xehanort's ability with time travel and his sort of omnipresence, he took these replicas and he filled them with the organization members from the moment he pulled them from the moment just before their death. So like Larxene and Marluxia, he pulled them out right from the moment just before their death. Michael Miller says, also, to back up Luciu's inactive Keyblade, it was explained that one of the many worlds were not recorded in the Book of Prophecies. Yes, that was something cool we learned in Union Cross too, is the Book of Prophecies is not absolute. It is not absolute. It's missing quite a lot. And Venus just so happens to form outside of Sora with no effort, without Sora visiting the Monsters Inc. world first. Because I'm still mad at that. I think we went over that already. Let's see. Sar Ayu says Kingdom Hearts 1 Riku lost his body to darkness at first. That's why he's immune now. He conquered the darkness. That's true. That's why I think he's disqualified as a potential vessel. His strength is vaster than darkness. SMH says, I feel player will be back because Xehanort finally died and he is Xehanort. Xehanort's coming back. I hate to break it to some of you. And if I'm wrong, we can clown on me all day. If I'm wrong, we can clown on me. I think he's coming back. Whether he communicates with Sora through a dreamscape, or young Xehanort has the ability to travel to Quadratum or something, Xehanort will be back. He's too important. He's too important to the series to not come back in some way. Does that mean he'll come back to life? No, but Xehanort's coming back. Okay. Abdul says, I hope the Master Masters is some eldritch light beast, or has some form of the nature, like with Aquaface in the Realm of Darkness. Me too. I prefer he be a villain of the light, right? I love it when a series, like I just played through Shadowbringers on FF14, and they very much go into this. Light and darkness does not mean good and evil. And I think the Master of Masters being like a villain of light would really help pay into that nuance. I honestly think Vanitas will come back. I think it's possible he comes back too. I think it's very possible he comes back. Okay. I don't know how. This is Billy the Kid. I don't know how, but I feel like I'm more excited for Kingdom Hearts 4 than I ever was for 3. Solely based on the fact that it'll be made for PS5 with much more potential and could be the best game perhaps. I am too. I was super excited for Kingdom Hearts 3. But that excitement was spread out over the course of years, you know? I'm losing my shit over Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm losing my shit over it. I can't wait to get my paws on that game, so I'm right there with you. Jay So Silly says, I want Xehanort and Sterlicia to meet to fulfill her wish. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Jay So Silly's on the wave. I would not mind Xehanort coming back. I love that character. I love him too. He's one of the best characters in the whole series. Easily. Easily. Anyway, just a thought. What if, like how, this is Maria, says, just a thought. What if, like how the Union Cross player reincarnated into Xehanort, the ML player, the Missing Link player reincarnates into Sora? Oh! I actually just got chills. I'd love that. I would love that. Fuck yeah. All right. The Child says, speaking of Kingdom Hearts 1, I can't find the dolphin in Atlantic and now I can't continue the game. I think I have to restart. The child, don't restart. Just look up a walkthrough, bro. Or look it up on YouTube and you can watch somebody literally play it and just copy them. You don't got to restart, bro. You don't got to restart. Just a Waffle says, I hope so for Xehanort coming back. Seeing Serlitzia and lots of people gonna meme, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Xehanort really needed some love of a happy ending. Here's the thing, I don't think Xehanort needs a happy ending, but I would love to see him actually be redeemed. And by the way, look, a lot of people shared the thought that Xehanort was redeemed at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. I think you're stupid. I mean, I'm sorry. I think that opinion's stupid. I misspoke. I think that opinion's stupid. Because I don't think he was redeemed. Like, he died envious of Ericus because Ericus was embraced and hugged and loved by his students. And Xehanort, moments before death, was by himself. By himself. The Guardians did not forgive Xehanort. Kairi had nightmares about him. Kairi still sees him as an antagonistic figure. Sora still sees him as an antagonistic figure in Remind. So, he was not redeemed. But I do think he's going to make a comeback. And I do think it's going to be not because he's good, not because he's like a loving character now. He's going to do it because he doesn't want to be a scapegoat. He's going to do it because he doesn't want to be just a pawn in the master's plan. That's what I think. I think he becomes more of an anti-hero. All right, SMH says, my 5 foot behind loves this character so much that I'm going to cosplay him. And Vanita. So you talking about Xehanort? Masters to play on Lucifer. I'm so convinced. Look at the Remind scene with young Xehanort. Again, sorry you are preaching to the choir. I've been singing that tune for 2.5 years. 2.5 years. And I agree with you. That's the scene that gives it away. And that's why I can't wait to see more of it in Dark Road. I want young Xehanort to come back, says the child. Me too. I think he's great. Mookie says, if a new enemy type appears in the next trailer, we're all going to lose it. I have to say, I don't think we get a new enemy type. I would love it. I'd actually prefer it if we got a new enemy type. I think it's the nightmares. I think the nightmares are the new prevalent threat. That's what I think. I think that's why you're seeing the Dream Eaters get so much focus. That's why you're seeing that a lot of those Union Cross children were reincarnated into Dream Eaters. You know what I'm saying? So, it'll be interesting to see. All right. Michael Mills says, oh yeah, by Prime Xehanort, I'm talking about a Xehanort that uses no heart Keyblade armor. Dude, yeah, no, I'd love to see a Xehanort in his prime. I'd love to. Billy says, I think it's that. Waited 13 years for Kingdom Hearts 3 and then boom. Never imagined all the games, characters, Union Cross, building up to 3, but especially never imagined a Kingdom Hearts 4. Dude, and it's coming. It's a coming. Missing Link main character equals Sora. We'll see, dude. All right. Ultimate and B says Xehanort had his students there too. Sora, Riku, and Kairi. In a lot of ways, Xehanort's going to work as a mentor figure for them. 100%. He's an antagonistic mentor, and I'd like to see that fully fleshed. Yes, I was talking about Xehanort. Good to know. Abdul says, sorry. In my opinion, I wouldn't want Sora to be a reincarnated Missing Link player. I like that him being chosen was a fluke and a nobody who became someone great. Abdul, I'm with you there. To an extent, right? Because remember in Dark Road, Ericus is a blue blood, right? He comes from this lineage of great Keyblade wielders. Xehanort, so far as we know, is not a blue blood. So when compared to Ericus and his blue blood status, Xehanort's kind of a nobody too. You know, he's a nobody who became someone great. He wasn't this gifted blue blood like Brain and Ericus, but who knows? I'm with you there. So if they do it, they'd have to work something like that, I guess is what I'm saying. You mean Xehanort will do a I will never be a memory move? 100%. Sarah Yu says, young Xehanort and Xemnas are by far the coolest Norded characters. Paul St. Peter doing Xemnas' voice is always going to be amazing. Ultimate and B says, I'd like to see the Darklings come back. Me too. I want them all to make a comeback, but I'm down for the nightmares. I'm down for the nightmares. PB and Jilly, Sage of the Lodge, and a mod of the Lodge. What's going on, Jill? How are you? You don't have to understand shit. You don't have to understand shit. I'd say a third of the Kingdom Hearts community doesn't understand shit, and they're having more fun than anybody. The ones who don't understand anything about Kingdom Hearts but play all the games, they're having more fun than all of us. I hope you all know that. Everybody watching this podcast, anyone who watches my videos, digging for more info, trying to figure it out, piece it together, we're having fun. For those people who accept they know nothing, they're having the best time. SMH says, I can't get this out of my mind. You know how Larxene and Marluxia got their memories back? I can't help but think Xehanort also having players' memories will rush. I don't know. I think it would crush him. That's an interesting thought. Will Xehanort get that rush of memories? Interesting. Xehanort was never bad, really. The player had to go through hell if you think about it. I don't know. Xehanort was pretty evil, dude. But I think he's certainly evil. But this is hard for me to put into words, so I'm going to try and do this justice. I definitely think Xehanort was a bad dude. He was evil, but he's redeemable. He truly wanted what he thought was best for everybody, but he was just narcissistic about it. Misguided, you know? Justin Waffle says, very strange when Nomura with Kingdom Hearts 4 and Final Fantasy Versus 13 comparison of Kingdom Hearts 4 Sora and Versus 13 Noctis. What is Nomura planning? A family reunion. We know this. Billy the Kid says there's so much Disney content and potential for Kingdom Hearts. I wouldn't mind Kingdom Hearts going all the way up to Kingdom Hearts 10. Feed me. Billy the Kid, I'm with you there. The more Kingdom Hearts, the better. But I'm very stern about this. When Nomura retires from gaming, or even if Nomura retires from Square Enix, so Kingdom Hearts should retire too. I don't want to live in a world where they make a Kingdom Hearts game without Nomura. I don't want to live in that world. No way, no how, Billy. No way, no how. I'm down for Kingdom Hearts 13. Give me 13 numbered titles. I just want Nomura at the head of all of them. Once Nomura is no longer at the head of this story, to me, it ceases to be Kingdom Hearts. It then just becomes a property that someone else can use as a platform to tell their new story. This is Nomura's story. This is his baby. And he has people he's working with it on, Tai Yasue, Nojima, Kitase, all those guys, it's their story too. But you guys see my point. If those guys aren't at the head of it, to me, it's not even Kingdom Hearts anymore. Michael Mills, also, I feel like Lushu is the nobody of the master. He could be a nobody of the master. He could be a clone of the master. He could be the master himself. Lushu's a fucking mind fuck, the more you think about it. Andy Brew is in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, mods, can we get a shout out for Andy Brew? Freaking Andy Brew in the chat. Oh, man. Michael Mills says, lingering memories of the player, the pain. Yeah, it would be nuts. Abdul says, I'm still hurt that we never got Paul St. Peter and Billy Zane in the same game. Don't get me wrong, I love Richard Epcar as Terra Xehanort. Richard Epcar does fantastic work, not just in Kingdom Hearts, but period. Like, his Joker is really good, too. But I agree. I really wish we got Billy Zane in Kingdom Hearts 3. I wish we had Billy Zane in Kingdom Hearts 3 and Christopher Lee. That would have been a dream. Jay So Silly says Xehanort was basically cool motive, still murder. Jay So Silly is on fucking fire tonight, ladies and gentlemen. SMH says, I think Xehanort would get crushed by those memories because he basically reversed what he died doing. Ephemer and Lucky wait forward to... Oh my god, you're right! You're right, that would mess with him because he'd be like, I went against everything my past self stood for. SMH, that's a cool point. Cheesecake says, I know what I truly know what I want. I want Oswald to Kingdom Hearts. Me too! Bring Oswald to Quadratum, baby. Bring Oswald to Quadratum all day. Make him Mickey's Yozora. I'm about it. Billy the Kid says, Nomura or nothing, yo. 100%. Nomura or I don't want it. Michael Mills says, I feel like 4 of Xehanort's classmates came to be possessed by 4 primary darknesses. We'll see! Feed me Dark Road, Michael. Feed me Dark Road and we can have some answers. Mookie says, Kingdom Hearts ends with Nomura. Facts. This is why I love you guys. This is why I love you guys. I gotta say. This is why you guys are the fucking most epic community. Because legit, without Nomura, this ain't Kingdom Hearts. We'll move on. We'll still talk. Like, maybe if Kingdom Hearts 4 ended with Nomura, if Nomura ended at Kingdom Hearts 4 and that was the end, we'd still talk about it. We'd still theorize. We'd still discuss. But man, to me, it would cease to be what it is anymore. Anyway. Tetsuya Nomura narrated FF10. Listen to my story. Maria, Xehanort was evil, but he had good intentions. Although what he did to achieve his goals were good things in his eyes due to the darkness making him blind. That's how I see bald, Nort. Yes, yes. Can't wait to find out how he became bald. Billy, I'm with you too. A game about the origins of Mickey, Donald, and Goofy? I would like that game. Make it a tech demo, like Fragmentary Passage. That'd be cool. Billy the Kid says you could have origins for Merlin. No, we need Merlin's world. Because I think Merlin, Fairy Godmother, and Yen Sid are on some shit. They're up to no good. They are the adults in the room keeping secrets from the children. That's who the three of them are. Fairy Godmother, Yen Sid, Merlin. They're the adults in the room keeping secrets from the children. And honestly, I hope they pay for it at some point. I hope this bites them in the ass. Because did you see how easily they all just accepted the world of fiction? Like Jensen just went, and then like admitted that he knew about it and that Xehanort knew about it. Like he knew all that prior. He knew all that prior. Don't fuck with me, dog. Moving on. Let's see. And Billy, you're right. You could do some of the prequel Pixar movies too, like Monsters University. Oh, man. You gotta love that. All right. Oswald wanted revenge because Mickey forgot about him. Well, Oswald's in the world of fiction, man. He never got to exist. I just thought, since we know Lingering Will is Ephemer's Heartless. Wait, what? Lingering Will? Somebody else chime in on that, because I don't think that's right, Sar. I'm not sure that's right. 4 graves, 4 deaths, an unstable wielder. Dark Road is gonna be nuts. Yeah, no, we're missing a grave. Dark Road gonna be crazy. I hope we get some CGI cutscenes. I would love it. Not Linger. Will the Dark Inferno is Ephemer's Heartless story. Oh, okay. Now I gotcha. Where's the Emperor's New Groove world, though? Andy, I'm with you. I will take Emperor's New Groove any day. But it's not happening. The time has come and gone. Nick Devlin says he became bald like how Darth Sidious became old from the darkness itself. Give me that. Give me a scene with like a Mace Windu, like force charging up. I'd love that. I'd also go for a story where Oswald has kidnapped everybody somehow. He's the main villain, and then Sora has to go save them with new party member friends. Yo, bring Max to Kingdom Hearts. Max needs to happen in Kingdom Hearts. Please. Maria says, I just want to start a conversation why Demix is in the character files knew about May Your Heart Be Your Guiding Key guy. Demix? I'm telling you. I think he's from Quadratum. I think Demix is from Quadratum, yo. That's what I think. We didn't see him in Union Cross. He could be from Dark Road. I don't want to rule that out. He could be from Dark Road. Let's not rule that out, man. Baldur is unstable. Yeah. And if you know the mythology behind Baldur, you know that's very on brand. So we'll see. But I also want an epic Mickey world that will never happen, though. I'd love an epic Mickey world, but like you said, it's not happening anytime soon. Billy the Kid says Max is like a knight in training at Disney Castle or something. Maybe he rebelled, is off doing skateboarding somewhere. Even if you just did a skateboarding minigame with Max, I'll take it. Sar IU says, I think Ephemer plays a role in Kingdom Hearts 4. Nomura loves putting the next game's boss as a secret boss like Xemnas in Kingdom Hearts 1, Final Mix Terror 2, and now Ephemer in 3. Yeah, if that Dark Inferno does turn out to be Ephemer, I'm with you there. I'm with you there. He's got to be the Prompto of Yozora's squad. Yeah, that's something Sonny Novus brought up in his video, the True King video. It fits the bill. Again, I don't know how likely it is, but it fits the bill. Because remember, like, Demix is a musician, right? He's the lazy musician. That doesn't quite fit Prompto's persona. Prompto was trying to be this, like, upbeat, peppy, like, photographer, you know? But while Demix is more like this lazy, laid-back sort of... It's possible, but I don't know. Twilight Blaze, Sage of the Lodge, says, if Master of Masters isn't named Superbia, wouldn't his name wouldn't fit with the name theme of the other list masters. See, Twilight Blaze, I've talked about this for a bit. I think it's possible there's a secret foreteller somewhere, or a hidden foreteller we don't know anything about. And I also think it's equally as possible that Vanitas, or the darkness within Vanitas, might be a manifestation of this. Because Vanitas, when translated through Latin, is vanity, which can be used synonymously with pride. Vanity and pride can be synonymously used together. So you're right, if the Master's name isn't Superbia or super or some kind of play on the Latin word for pride, then that's going to mean that there's either some secret foreteller out there, or that Vanitas, meaning vanity, was actually this sort of secret foreteller all along. Demix could have been from Scala. Yeah, Mike, I think it's very possible, Michael. I think it's very possible. It's equally as possible, I suppose, that he's from Scala as opposed to Quadratum, you know? And there's the two eras of Scala he could be from. He could be from Missing Link, or he could be from Dark Road. You never know. Nick Devlin says, everyone's talked about Marvel and Star Wars. What about Harry Potter and Narnia in KH4? Yeah, if they were Disney properties, Harry Potter would work. So would Narnia with the door. Yeah, no, honestly, both those could work. Give me the X Games world with Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure. Oh, God, yeah, X would be key. That's hilarious. Umbra, my man's here. Ephemer isn't Dark Inferno. Y'all, there's multiple Dark Infernos. He can't be Ephemer. Yeah, you know, I lean on your side, Umbra. I think it's more likely than not he's not Ephemer. It is possible they pull the move because of the scarf, and that he appears in the Keyblade Graveyard, and Ephemer appears in the Keyblade Graveyard. I don't think it's possible, but I think the foundation's there that they could work it somehow if they wanted to. Okay. If they do Abdul says, if they do Star Wars, I would love Sora to travel to anywhere in the Star Wars galaxy by means of the world between worlds. From Star Wars Rebels, it's a conduit between life and death, time and space. I would love any chance where they overlap. I love it when Kingdom Hearts can overlap the lore of a Disney world with the Kingdom Hearts lore. I think that's awesome. I really think that's when that stuff is at its best. Toilet Play says, yeah, I'm so glad you said that. I don't feel crazy anymore. Yeah, no need. No need to feel crazy. That naming scheme is very on the nose. Vanitas Ventus is a form that hasn't come back yet. Sigurd could be the former seventh foreteller, and he teams up with Brain to defeat the Master of Masters. Who knows, right? Sigurd is a mystery. And I am really curious as to how he knew Braid was going to show up there. Forgive me. Getting a little tired here. At this point, Demix could be the Missing Link main character. No, man, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Narnia is published by Disney? I didn't know that. I didn't know Narnia was published by Disney. I'd love a Narnia world. Wondering if the Kingdom Hearts 4 game has some secret boss about to continue the story or not. What will the secret boss be for Kingdom Hearts 4? Like anything you can imagine? Let me think about it. I want to think about that for a second. Honestly, so hear me out. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. But it's very obvious to me, reading all these interviews with Nomura, he's very clued in to what the fan base has to say. And honestly, I think Square Enix as a company as a whole really considers what their fan base has to say, for the most part. I think there are some things they're willing to listen to fans on. I think there are others that they're not willing to listen to fans on. But I think a Kingdom Hearts 4 secret boss, it could just be Sephiroth. I think it's possible. They bring Sephiroth back. Getting tired. Getting tired. I gotta say, we'll keep it rolling, though. I think Vanitas is one of the original Darknesses that when his memories got inevitably whipped with Ventus's memories, just accidentally mellowed down, being surrounded with pure lights. Okay, so are you saying that the lights sort of suppress the memories upon them fusing? Umbra, by the way, Landy, have you seen my DM about Xehanort's armor? Not yet. Let me peep that. Let me catch up with the chat a little more. We'll peep that at the end. Even though it won't happen, I still want what I said a while back. Phil branching out the games to Game Central Station. Any branching out of the games, I'm all for. Have anything left? So Vanitas doesn't look like a threat, and he probably doesn't act like one because of it. Oh, Percy Jackson, show me Namimoto secret boss. There it is. There it is. Andy Brew, ladies and gentlemen. Andy Brew, ladies and gentlemen. Vanitas very well could be an original Darkness. He's one of the only characters to spawn enemies out of himself and even created a whole subcategory called the Unversed. Another thing worth pointing out, right? That's some absurd power. That's some absurd power that I feel like only someone like the Master can bestow on you. SMH, yo, I am worried for Sora because he still has Vanitas. And Master's plan is to store darknesses in people and probably kill them because that's the only way he sees that the darkness can be defeated. That's such a good point, SMH. I think it's overlooked a lot, right? So as we know, the organization members were pulled from the past out of the moment right before they died. So that would mean that the Ventus that came out of Sora, is that a Ventus that has Vanitas within him? Or was that Vanitas kept inside Sora? Who knows? Jade Cheesecake says, wait, but how and why is Daybreak Town under Scala at Kylum? Well, because at the end of Union Cross, right? At the end of Union Cross, you see Daybreak Town gets destroyed. But Ephemer is the lone survivor. Ephemer builds that into Scala at Kylum. Peace out, PB and Jilly. Thanks for hanging out. Love you, and thanks for modding, supporting, and everything else. Michael Bill says, I only mentioned Vanitas Ventus because he wielded a variant of the Keyblade, and he opened a portal connected to Kingdom Hearts. So true. Vanitas, don't sleep on Vanitas. Don't sleep on Vanitas. Billy the Kid says, I have an entire pitch regarding a Disney property, story and all, but I haven't told anyone yet. I want to pitch it to Nomura. I know that will never happen, but keep it held tight just in case. You never know, dude. You never know. You never know. Maria says, guys, let's be honest. Y'all think the Oathkeeper's charm from the hotel relevant to the plot? I believe so. I don't think so. I think they're just screwing. I think they're just screwing around. Okay, let's check out Umbra's DM. Let me see this about Xehanort's armor. I know it's a goat armor, and I've been calling him the scapegoat. You know what I'm saying? So let's check this out. Okay. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Okay, bud. Okay, I see you. I see you. Let's get, all right, we're going to do a little wonky editing here, so just bear with me. Is this it? Let's see. Let's see. That doesn't work. How about that? Nope, that doesn't work. Okay. All right, I'll have to just maybe describe this as best I can. Looking at Stranger Paradise footage, I realized that Xehanort's second Keyblade armor isn't exactly goat imagery. Oh, the long neck and scale-like design is actually similar to that of a dragon. And since he uses flare variations in his moveset, it's probably a direct representation of Bahamut. Okay, so that thing, I always did see it was Bahamut too. I guess I just always thought Bahamut was goat-esque. I didn't know Bahamut was dragon-esque. I thought, but then there's like the sort of biblical Bahamut, and then there's like the Square Enix Bahamut. So that makes sense. Yeah, no, I always thought his armor was kind of a reference to either Bahamut or Baphomet. Both of them kind of apply. But that's cool. That is definitely pretty sick. Okay. Okay. And then you have a message. Ooh, there's a message. We can't sleep on the message. Imagine if the Bahamut that Rex was stuck. Oh my God, Umbra. All right. Hello. Imagine if the Bahamut that Rex was stuck on was armored Xehanort this whole time. Or someone else using the armor later in the saga, like Lucio. Umbra, man, Umbra, can you just make Kingdom Hearts videos, dude? You'd blow up overnight, man. You'd fucking blow up overnight, I'm telling you. Telling you, Jesus. All right. Let's make sure we get everybody here. Really hope Nomura is listening to your stream, Landy Lodge, with ideas. Nomura has burner accounts. I'm telling you right now. Nomura has burner accounts. No joke. No joke. No joke. Anyway. Well, we are on the topic of Kingdom Hearts 4 world. I think we will be switching into reality and unreality. I think so, too. Only because of the ending of Kingdom Hearts 4. I think we will switch to Kairi for some of the worlds. I want some Kairi gameplay segments. I liked her moveset a lot. SMH says, what I meant is that Vanitas doesn't come off as one of the original Darknesses because he took a physical form and lost his memories. That he doesn't act like the original Darknesses. I want to do the 1 for 2. Much like how people shape themselves after those sets surrounded them. Oh! Ooh, that is scary. Ooh. All right, Billy the Kid says, yo, imagine if Sora actually took a vacation in the world of Quadrado and went to Disney World. The meta would be insane. Oh, man. I'd love that. Curious, when Sora, this is Sara Yu, says, curious, when Sora got Ven's heart, wouldn't that make Sora a lot older than when we're shown? Or was Ven's heart floating around? Oh, I have no idea. That's a brain buster, bro. That is a brain buster. So, yeah, Nomura's going to hunt us down. Holy shit. Holy shit, he is. But, yeah, no, Umbra, that's a hell of an observation. Nick Devlin, if we're going to see less of Final Fantasy, they should at least give us Midgar World and have one final fight for Sephiroth like Advent Children and finish him for good. I love the idea that the Cloud and Sephiroth like boss battle thing can be its own trilogy. There's something about that I really love. Like, if you let that be its own trilogy, I think that's really cool. I also low-key hope he's going to get his own Star Wars trilogy within Kingdom Hearts. Can you imagine giving Nomura his own Star Wars trilogy within Kingdom Hearts? It would be epic. It would be epic. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. All right. Let's see here. All right. So, with all that said, if anybody has any other questions or comments, now would definitely be a good time to get them in. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, a few more. Oh, I've been told to wait. I've been told to wait. Michael Mills, New Stage of Lodge. He's got something. Billy Kid says, that's no world. It's a space station. Imagine if they got Nomura to direct one of the Star Wars Visions episodes. They should. He's the man. And honestly, I'm pretty tapped out on Star Wars now. But if Nomura got a shot at it, I'd watch. You said Xehanort's armor is like that of a dragon. I did say that. I did say that. Yeah, let me try this again. Let me see if I can... I was just about to head out anyway. Good night, bro. Billy the Kid, dude. Good night to you, my newest sage. Our newest sage. Thank you again for your continued support, my friend. Always appreciate having you in here. Thank you for coming by. Then he's one of the potential pieces on the new chessboard. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, let me see. Let me see if I can get this pulled up. Let me see if I can make this happen here. Let me see if I can make this happen for everybody. Come on. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. Okay, so this is what... Let's shrink this down a little bit. Let's shrink this down a little bit. Okay, 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 okay. And you know what? We'll stretch it. We'll stretch it. No, oh no. No one's going to care all that much. No one's going to care all that much. Okay, guys. Here's what the homie's talking about. Here's the Xehanort armor. Bahamut. Xehanort armor. Bahamut. Okay. Our next step is to hunt down that chessboard. Let's see. Do you think they'd ever be brave enough to put Revenge of the Sith? Yes. Yes, I do. I think they could do it. Centerpiece is a dragon? Are we talking about We're talking about when Erica says, like, oh, I'll play a new game. Like at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, when he says, I heard about this new game. Let's go. Let's go. Let's pull this up. Let's pull this up. Let's pull this up. Okay. Let's see this. Let's pull this up. I heard about this new game. Where's that at? Come on. Okay, come on. We're getting there. All right, I'm just letting it roll. Okay. Ooh. Oh, here we go. Let's go all the way. Let's commit. That's a dragon looking motherfucker right there. All right, Envy, Aced, Era, Envy, Aced. That ain't. Oh, Jesus. Let me pull up the chat. Maybe you guys got something for me. Let's see. We might have looked at No Name the wrong way the whole time. Yeah? So dragon would be Lushu's animal symbol then, not a goat/ram. Yeah, see, I always thought Lushu was the goat, you know? The heart is Lushu. That would make sense. But yeah, it's right there, fam. It's right there in plain sight. But who knows? Who knows what that's in reference to? That's insane. That's insane. Oh, my Lord. Bottom left symbol is a symbol on the Book of Prophecies. Interesting. Yeah, it's true. It's on the cover. Then maybe that represents Lushu, because Lushu is the reason the Book of Prophecies was even written. That makes all the more sense. Yes, question. Will Magius and Aegis become Riku's party members? Mistaking him for Yozora? That would be cool! That would be so cool, Just a Waffle. I'd love that. Where is Ava? Ava's in the box. The Book of Prophecy is Lushu's life. Exactly. It's everything that was passed down that he saw. Well, what if Xehanort was positioned to be the last foreteller? His ignorance to control darkness could be pride. Yeah, but then you break up the whole naming scheme, you know? I don't know. But it could be. It could be. I think it's more plausible than we think. All right. But hey, we're going to close up today's episode there. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I love doing this. I love it. Xehanort is an anagram of another. Can't you also make no heart? I think you can make no heart out of it, too. But anyway, this is a great episode. I had a great time. I always love hanging out with all of you. I always love discussing all this stuff, fleshing it out. We got some new sages in the lodge, ladies and gentlemen. So let's give them some special shout outs. Always got to give a special shout out when we got a sage in the lodge. So major shout out to Billy the Kid Lawrence and Michael Mills, our newest sages. Thank you guys so much. You guys are fucking awesome. We're going to be back at it Saturday morning. We're continuing the Pokemon Nuzlocke. We got a podcast Tuesday, and I got a Kingdom Hearts theory and a Final Fantasy VII theory in the works. And eventually, I've got some FF10 videos to work on. But anyway, we're going to wrap it up there. If you are on Twitch, I recommend that you please stick around for the raid. We're going to raid my man Ezupada, who is he's a mod here. So we show him support. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Again, we'll do a live stream Saturday morning, and we got a podcast and 2 theories on the way. Take care, everybody. Until next time.